Actually, no, we're not going to park there. Hey everyone, today is July 25th, 2022, and we are in northern Vermont, checking out a culvert pipe that we discovered a few months back. We just had a brief torrential downpour, probably dropping 1 or 2 inches within a half an hour period. Right here we have this small stream. Not a problem in front of this culvert, but we're going to be following the stream today down to the highway, because the highway has a really large triangular trash rack that had a pretty large blockage on it last time. I don't expect the water levels on these smaller streams to go up too much since we are in a severe drought. This rain is definitely very welcomed to come because it's so dry. This forest is just sucking it up, so I doubt these small streams are going to go up much at all. But larger rivers, such as the Connecticut River, they're very high today, which is a good thing to see. Because depending on the terrain, sometimes if there's a big drought, the ground is so dried out that if you get a sudden downpour, it can't absorb it. It just runs right off it into the rivers and it gives them a quick flash flood. But around here, the forest was still a little bit damp from a downpour yesterday. So I don't think we'll have a problem with it not being able to absorb. So you saw at the beginning of this video, I tried to pull into access directly at the culvert. You could tell that it was very overgrown, and that tells me they're not doing very well maintenance on it. They haven't been checking on it. I backed out of there, my wheels spun. I wasn't going to put all my wheels off the pavement because I knew that may happen. That's why I tested it first. I don't think I would have got back out of there. The ground was a bit soft. So at the moment I'm walking on a series of snowmobile trails. I'm going to be taking a left right here, which is going to be getting us underneath some high tension power lines. This snowmobile trail is a bit overgrown, but that's okay. I got my big high boots on, which are perfect for going through high grass. It helps prevent ticks. It stops me from getting soaked, and I can go just about anywhere with them. You know, for the first time in probably many months, I wore a pair of sneakers, which is very rare for me, and immediately I realized why I don't do this anymore. Because they just get wet walking through morning dew. So much more convenient wearing boots. People ask all the time, how are you not uncomfortable wearing those? I'm just so used to it. I don't get blisters from them. I'll wear them hiking. I'll wear them everywhere. I wear the tread off about 2 pairs of them a year. And in the winter time, I just run hot. I don't need them to be insulated. They do just fine. If it's really cold, I'll wear 2 pairs of socks. We got a lot of animal tracks here in the mud underneath the power lines. And I'm about to come up to a small snowmobile bridge that you really can't even see. That same stream that I showed going underneath that access road where the culvert was is right here. This bridge does have a few rickety spots. As you can see, the stream is barely flowing, which is good news. I thought that it may have been a little difficult to do this unclogging today, but I guess not. There's not a huge amount to unclog, but then we can go on a little adventure through the culvert. This grass is, or these flowers are so nice. These flowers are way up to my chest. Very deep vegetation. So this here is the snowmobile trail. Just nobody uses it in the summertime for anything. That's why the grass is way up to my chest. So this is the access right here to the culvert that I tried to pull in earlier. It's pretty flat, but It's also pretty soft. There's a lot of poison ivy in here. Okay, here we are. Isn't this spectacular? Gigantic triangular grate culvert. It's made out of welded I-beams. Definitely the biggest structure of the type I've seen. Having trouble getting down here. A lot of slipperiness. Iron oxidizing bacteria right there. Very bright and orange. So, let's see what we can pull off of this. I don't know what that is, but I'm hearing a lot of noise up there on the highway. And some guy was just up there yelling and swearing. No idea what happened up there. We're gonna get going on this now. There's a lot of debris here. I can tell this thing's been neglected for a good amount of time. But we're gonna improve this a little bit, then we'll go inside the culvert and see what we can see. Very buggy down here. Look at all these roots, that's so much neglect.
All right, we got a good amount of debris off this thing. Let me show you exactly how bad it really is. I hope I didn't just wipe off too much of my bug spray, because it is pretty buggy down here. Alright, so this is what we were able to get done here. I'm definitely going to report this, as I do with any massive clog that's not feasible to remove myself. You see, there's probably 3 more feet of debris here. I was able to remove about maybe 1.5 feet right here, get water flowing back underneath it. When I started, water wasn't able to flow here. It was trickling higher over there into the back. So this entire structure from top to bottom is approximately 8 feet tall. Right here, looking at it, it's maybe 5.5 feet that you're able to see. But this structure is pretty genius, actually. It allows all this sidewall on both sides to clog up. And then you see this whole area here is allowed to come up and flow in through the top if there was ever an emergency. This is nowhere near a massive problem yet. It's just that what I'm seeing here is probably at least 10 years in the making. It's not being maintained properly. That's what the major issue is. We got a little more water flowing here in the middle, but I want to check out the inside. That's the main reason I came here today. Step down inside it. This thing's huge. Now the purpose of this whole thing is, look at all this surface area for debris to collect on. If this structure wasn't here, all this debris here would be stuck in the entrance here. It would fill up this whole valley, and it would flow through that underpass right there. And then it would flood out a neighborhood, because it probably wouldn't be able to find its way back to the stream bed easily, the way this terrain is set up. So this here is a genius structure, just like that triangular beaver rack. This thing here has no beavers around the area, but there's a pretty steep elevation here, so things will come flooding down here very fast if we get the right situation. It rained a lot today. It would have already happened, because it stopped raining for about 2 hours. There's not going to be any flash flood here today. But take a look at the debris all the way down here. I can tell it's been here so long, because if you look above this blockage, it's soil. There's trees growing on top of it. That's many years in the making. I'd say it's at least a decade of neglect. And take a look at this. You got a bunch of logs around here about the right size for a fireplace. Either they were too rotten and someone upstream threw them in the river to get rid of them, or they got taken away during a flood. There's a lot of stuff here that was cut by chainsaws that someone let float down here. And that's why in a situation like this, when there's more culverts downstream, it's always important to throw it way off to the side. Now, beyond this culvert, there's 2 more known culverts until it enters a river. Then there's a hydroelectric dam. Then it enters the Connecticut River. Awesome structure. This thing will be here for years to come. Great design. Alright, let's go inside the culvert pipe. Look at this. Got a massive grapevine here in the way. Is that grape? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's this fake palm tree. I thought it was this. No, it's not. No, I was about to say. See the bark, how different it is? And we got a cave spider right there. A lot different. You can see we have had some pretty high flow. See how it's shiny there from rocks grinding it down like sandpaper? But at the same time, it also typically flows slow enough to have iron oxidizing bacteria. So far, this culvert looks like it's in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, I don't have a great camera light on me. We got some black widows in here. This is about a 6.5 foot culvert, possibly 7 feet. Let me brighten this up a little bit, the camera. There we go. That helped a little bit. It's dark and scary in here. This culvert's in nice shape. There is a good amount of black widows in here.
The walls of the culvert are sweating with condensation. It's very humid out today. We have humidity in the 70s. You can see on the camera screen how much fog there is in here. Yeah, this culvert is in good shape. This will be here for probably at least 2 or 3 more decades before the bottom starts to deteriorate too much. But they'll probably catch it before it deteriorates and put a concrete bottom in. That's what they've been doing lately to prolong the life of culverts before they have to put a sleeve inside. All right, we're about to come out the end. It looks like a pretty steep drop. Wow, you can see so many water droplets on the camera. Nice iron oxidizing bacteria here too. Slippery. All these rocks here are very slippery. Not going to take the culvert back. Probably going to walk on the road to get back afterwards. It would be cool someday to come back here when this is violently flowing. Because during times of high flow, I can tell I wouldn't even be able to stand here. The current would be so strong. Lots of Japanese knotweed down here also. Now we're about to enter another culvert that we're not going to go stumbling in today. I just want to see if there's any sort of blockage on the end of it. There could be. There's lots of debris along the ground. Up there at the top of the hill, there's someone's shed completely falling apart. Now we're about to enter a knotweed forest. And there should be another culvert coming up. This one goes on a pretty long distance underneath a neighborhood. And it has to take multiple turns underneath the roadways. And then it comes out into a river. So this is potentially the last culvert, but since it has so many corners in it, I'm not going to let anything go through it except clumps of dirt maybe. Now where is this thing? I might be forced up onto the road. It's getting pretty tight down here. It smells really gross down here. Here we are. Oh, it's a big culvert. Doesn't look like there's any blockage.
Oh, so no, this is not the culvert that goes underneath the neighborhood. Not yet. That's going to be the next one. That looks pretty, doesn't it? That's a spider web on the front of the camera. And we even have a massive spider inside this culvert. We're going to leave these guys alone because I can see there's dozens and dozens of webs in here. Look at the size of these spiders. Massive. Yeah, there's dozens of these massive webs going across that culvert pipe. So we're gonna head back up to the road, which is right next to us. We're basically walking in a drainage ditch, I believe. Let's see if this road has drains or not. No, it doesn't. So that actually is a drainage ditch. All right, so we're walking back. The culvert I was talking about that goes underneath the neighborhood actually starts in someone's yard. So we're not going to be doing that. And we can't walk up it backwards because where it ends, it's up 12 feet off the ground along a big retaining wall pouring into the river. So that's not going to be a feasible idea either. I think all those people up there yelling and making noise might be construction workers. We were here a month ago or so checking it out. And there was a lot of noticeable construction up there. But driving on this highway this morning, I didn't see anything. It must have just popped up. Because last time it was happening underneath the bridge too. They had it blocked off to one lane. Now there's clear construction sounds. There weren't when I first started. So I think we're gonna start back onto that snowmobile trail. Here it is. So this is where I tried to pull in earlier. It is very flat here, but it's just too slippery. Either a human or an animal has been walking through here. The center here is kind of plowed down by something. I hope today's video was interesting. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Alright, it's so hot and humid out. It's mostly the humidity that's bothering me. Just walking back to this place, which is up a giant hill, just made me sweat. I'm drenched. Now I gotta have something to drink and cool down.